Greetings, it is SUSieQ. I'm working with an automatic written piece. I did this back in 2008, and it's been a fun experience putting all of these words together. Again, when I'm in process with hearing voices or feeling different stages of imagery or different colors or any of these sensations, all of these things are helping me to write, keep writing, right? So we're going to call this, it happened on a Tuesday, and we're looking at what we call higher perspectives. So this is a tongue twister for me because the words are all kind of shaped funny. They're shaped funny than you would normally write, but this is what's happening now. So we'll get started. Berating bylines upsets an exhausted poet in somewhere Texas. I unscramble twisted images just to feel the salty salutations. My muse swoops in to say, I hear the colors of your breath. Oh, but how can it be when this vacant stare is all I see? I found myself right now amused and finally ready to speak. No longer words left to play alone, I feverishly write. With bleeding pens and retractable hearts, I write for days. These frozen words on fire streak miraculously across the page. Sparkling specks of fanciful visions highlighted by nonsense. Oh, how can this be? It resembles a self-portrait of a kind. Is it a kind? Yes, now I see the delusion of the moments I missed, I weep. From somewhere deep inside I dry my tears and think. My muses, they say what they say, they can be really rap finks. The stolen glances of yesteryear, now, what is the source? Live life out there, not here, I'm terribly befuddled. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Seasonal enchantments, here we go. Penning the path of this driftwood. Now the woodwork waits. I pen and sculpt the story as 100 bugles howl for it. The passage of time, this then is the thing I should share. From this forest, a piece of driftwood is sojourning large, where paths lead to new passages of time and space. Words on a page barely contain such a transformation. Again I weep, for this poet's dampened dream of life and all. Lifting the inner band, I feel for this once mammoth tree, sculpting four-dimensional realities from what remains. I deplore your inadequacy. I say to myself, tell the story, tell the story. If all the world is submerged in wonder, what of this tree? Just as new stars forged in time exist, so must this energy. The tree is still alive. The tree is still alive. I hear it resonate as these solaces sing. In one form or another, you are the epitome of life. You are the epitome of life. The tree, now driftwood, says to me, give your soul wings. Give your soul wings. Commonality, complacency rings so true in this moment now. The tree story is forever going. Fly with words. I now believe. Okay. Well, that was a humdinger trying to read all of these kind of erroneous words, some of these feeling tones, some of these energies that we're working with. And I love it happened on a Tuesday. So a Tuesday is what was going on. Tuesday was really like, yeah, let's go out. Let's see what we can find and what else can we do. But when you're looking at those higher perspectives, we start noticing from the beginning of that story, it was kind of fanciful and kind of irreverent or goofy or whatever, and then finally we went and back into the driftwood and finding the complementary feeling of just seeing the driftwood and knowing that it's still alive, it still is real. And, sometimes when we think about when if we have a friend that's passing or has already gone to spirit, they're still there. There still is life to that energy. So all of these words, like I say, do get in the way. But eventually we get a little bit more energy, we get a little bit more insight, so that driftwood felt felt like it was not connected to the earth anymore, but it certainly was. That driftwood finally was there, and it will be there for as long as it needs to be. And I think that's for us too, especially if somebody, like I said, is getting ready to recede from consciousness, go back to spirit, go back to God, to go back to source, is that we start noticing that, you know, that there's always going to be connections from spirit to our earthly school. And all of these things, I think, are helping us and guiding us to feel better, to be feeling lighter, you know, feeling that sense of joy and just commonality with the natural world, you know. Sometimes we think about, we just talk about the humans and all these things, but there's all these different elements that are here on this planet. And the more that we kind of lean into that energy, you know, and notice that there's so much more to the story. There's so much to the words, to the energies, to the frequencies, to the higher perspectives. You know, all of these words and words and words. You know, sometimes, you know, I always think I think I could just do a color. You know, instead of words, I would be working with color. Purple, green, or yellow is usually my typical ones. So I think this piece was interesting. I found it recently again, and I have so many different pages of written material. And I just start noticing that, hey, I want to get back in that vibe. I want to catch that vibe that Susie had back in 2008. I want to feel that beautiful, you know, rugged kind of words, these kind of words that maybe don't make sense, or maybe they're just kind of erroneous, or maybe they're just there for fun and folly. You know, I always think about Shakespeare. So that Shakespearean energy is always kind of operating with a lot of my states of consciousness. You know, there's the theater, you got the cast of characters, you got the set, you got, you know, I'm a damsel in distress, or I'm the victim, or I'm like the mean person, you know, like the bad person, you know, like, you know. And then after the theater closes and the curtains are closed, then everybody's kind of going, I want to be the bad guy, or I want to be that other person. I want to play that role. I want to do this role. So all of these roles that we have in our life are so uncanny and kind of interesting, because we know that we're here, boots on the ground, right? Boots on the ground, right? So, and we just start noticing that there's maybe some other little storylines that we want to have in this lifetime. Well, we're still here. We want to have a little different storyline. We want to have some different ways of processing energy. We want to know a little bit about more lessons in our field. We want to have maybe more divine purposes. Sometimes people think it's just one divine purpose in a lifetime, but sometimes could be a couple of them, some different divine purposes. So these higher perspectives are really opening up more states of just, you know, like, what else can I do? You know, how amazing could this life be, and how easy could it be just to step into another stage, another arena, another experience. All of these things are so good for us, because we're here to learn and understand what this experience is here on life, and relating to our family, relating to our friends, to our loved ones, relating to our body, you know, how we relating to our body, and, you know, really just understanding a little bit more about how we heal ourselves, how we can bring in the energy and that light particle energy, or the galactic energy, whatever you want to call it. But we're working a lot with that. And then also with some of the energies that we're kind of like resting in and playing in and kind of morphing into it, is some of that about the creativity of spirit. I do a lot of writing, so I'm basically a writer. And then you can say, I would like to have more abundance in my field, or more light energy and my creative pursuits, and finding better abundance or miracles in my field. All of these things. All this stuff is so yummy. And the more that you kind of like lean into and just kind of like just kind of let some stuff go, things start happening a little bit better. It could be faster, it could be slow, or whatever that is. But the more that you kind of lean into, hey, people, just remember that you are here and you have a purpose, and you've had lessons beyond lessons. So today is higher perspectives, and it started on a Tuesday. Happened on a Tuesday. So we'll see you soon, and namaste.